Okay, everyone, let's go ahead and let's read this story. The story is Words to Save the World, the work of Rachel Carson. Remember the essential question: what impact do our actions have on our world? We're going to read about how the biologist Rachel Carson used the power of writing to change the world. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get started. Sometimes the quietest voice can spark the most clamorous outrage. Combining her love of nature with a belief in scientific accuracy, the soft-spoken writer Rachel Carson raised awareness about environmental issues. As a result, the U.S. government strengthened the rules and regulations regarding the use of chemical pesticides. Many people consider Rachel's book, Silent Spring, the foundation of today's environmental movement. Just some heads up, clamorous, okay? We might need to use some context clues for that, right? Quietest voice can spark the most clamorous outrage. Well, what's the opposite of something that's quiet? Something that's loud, right? So clamorous is something that's very loud, okay? And let's go ahead and let me let you know, chemical pesticides. Pesticides are chemicals that are used to kill insects that would harm farmers' crop. So like there's pesticides that can help kill insects that would otherwise eat all the corn that a farmer might be trying to cultivate and things like that. So that's what a pesticide is. Okay, early influences. Rachel was born in Springdale, Pennsylvania in 1907. Throughout her childhood, her mother encouraged her to explore the landscape surrounding the family's farm. Often equipped with binoculars, Rachel developed a love of nature that affected many of her decisions. For example, she first chose to study English literature and writing when she went to college. However, she later decided to study biology. Rachel preferred working alone as she gathered information. While studying at a marine laboratory, she became fascinated by the glistening and shimmering seascape. From an early age, Rachel had loved to write. These writing skills proved useful to her career. She began by creating radio programs for the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries. She then became the editor and librarian for the agency. While she was working, she submitted her own articles to newspapers and magazines. Rachel eventually published 3 books about the ocean and its native plants and animals. The trilogy included Under the Sea Wind, The Sea Around Us, and The Edge of the Sea. And Rachel supported her ideas with well-researched facts. Rachel Carson's research revealed that DDT caused damage to birds and eggs. A call to action. The success of Rachel's books allowed her to devote more time to her own projects. She built a cottage close to the sea on the coast of Maine. Soon, however, a letter arrived from some old friends, Olga and Stuart Huckins. They described problems resulting from the spraying of DDT on their private wildlife sanctuary. Chemical companies had developed DDT as an effective solution to crop-eating insects on farms and plantations. At the Huckins sanctuary, however, the chemical also seemed to be harming birds. In response, Rachel hired assistants to help research the Huckins claim. Worried by the slow pace of their work, she decided to continue alone. By publishing her findings, she hoped to warn about the dangers of these new chemicals in order to dramatize the situation. She urged readers to imagine a world without songbirds. The book's title, Silent Spring, describes this possible result of pesticide abuse. Silent Spring prompted readers to raise their voices in unison against the chemical corporations. They demanded an investigation into pesticides and implored the government to restrict their use. In response, President John Kennedy created a congressional committee to study this matter. Rachel testified before this group and provided facts and information to influence its decisions. So though a pesticide may target insects, animals can also feel its effects. A strong reaction. Meanwhile, the chemical companies continued to counter Rachel's claims. Despite her reasonable approach to the problem, they tried to depict her accusations as irrational. They published articles and reports that mocked her writing style and belittled her ideas. Advertisements on television proclaimed the safety of their products. When these ads did not change public opinion, they pulled financial support from programs that featured Rachel. Rachel worried that once pesticides poison an area, it might be impossible to restore the environment to its original state. Man's attitude toward nature is today critically important simply because we now have acquired a fateful power to alter and destroy nature, she said in an interview. Her testimony led to restrictions on certain pesticides in the United States. Even so, chemical companies continued to produce them for export to other countries. Rachel Carson died shortly after Silent Spring was published, but her voice survives within her books. Her love of nature endures, along with her quiet desire to preserve and protect the natural world. So it said Carson understood the power her words had to educate others, especially children. Alright, what impact did the publication of Silent Spring have on the makers of pesticides such as DDT? Think about a time when you wrote or spoke about something that needed to change. What impact did your words have? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a chance to pause. You can pause here. You can pause, let's see if I can get it going. Here. Actually, that might help if you just do that. Pause there. And there. You can screenshot that as well. Okay, so that way you can zoom in. Alright, you guys. We're going to go ahead and do the activities in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.